All right, we're going over more of the Sears, Roebuck and Company Incorporated Supply House catalog, a reprint from 1970 of the old catalog from the fall of 1900. Man, what a year, huh? Technically, the last year of the 19th century, and it's been fascinating to see what's in here. So we go to each department has cool artwork, right, showing this photographic department, photography for pleasure and for profit. You're gonna see that, and far from just the toys for the rich. The idea of becoming a photographer, of making your own business, and, investing your capital into the equipment, right? Complete instructions of photography. So, I love, look how much detail there is. I mean, they really went to a lot of effort just the typesetting of this. So we go, they have the full kits. Of course, you have to. Photography back then, it's you just don't snap it and it comes out, right? You have to develop it. So they sell the kits, the chemicals. Of course, this, in terms of dark rooms, people could make their own rooms sort of dark. And there's I think there's mini little boxes that were like mini dark rooms here. But you see, for example, 3465, the Empire State Photographic Outfit. So these kits are all in essentially to photography was. Well, I mean, it was pretty much by the middle of the century, photography was pretty prevalent. Of course, in France, the great Nadir, if anyone remembers him, was it Nadar? I forgot. A famous balloonist and photographer, a fascinating person. But photography was. I say I have a photographic side hobby. What does that mean to you? It means nothing. But it's fascinating how, in addition to the photography, you see the other related items here, okay? You have moving photographs at this point. I'll get into that. But look, the Magic Lantern, I got over with that book, remember? About before moving pictures, what led up to it. Of course, the Magic Lanterns, very, very, still very prevalent. People making children of the Phantasmagorias, the original horror interactive experiences were done essentially with moving magic lanterns and fog. Right? So you see the slide, of course, the Magic Lantern. You need the slides, and you see the different. You have the movable slides. Right? You can actually make action with them, moving back and forth. Now, of course, today this seems silly, but there are still some Magic Lantern shows in America. Apparently, there's something about them. There's it is sort of magical. It's hard to explain, even for those of us who've grown up with film and video. The chromotropes, these are psychedelic, bro. You turn these and it's just remember too, when you put these project these on the wall, these are much bigger. So it's just send me a text, I'll send you a telegraph, because I'm gangsta, I'm old school. Look at this thing. It's the telegraph. It works. It still works. But it's interesting that they actually sell that. And the batteries. Now here's where we start to get. Now look at this. Look at this art, man. I love it. Public entertainment outfits and supplies. Right. Same idea. Okay. Now you have moving pictures. You have cinema, and you have projectors. In this case, they're selling the Optigraph. Now, of course, Mr. Edison had his own name. I think it was the Vitascope or one of those. Of course, I invented it, and every film I own it. But the truth is that many different people created cameras simultaneously. George Méliès was not. He created his own camera. But of course, once again, the American can-do spirit of enterprise. Do not let this money-making opportunity pass. And when it is too late, say, "I am sorry, I did not take a hold of it." Okay, in terms of look at this. You charge admission. Look at this thing, the Optigraph and the Stereopticon, right? Essentially, right. You see the Optigraph from the 1900, the new model, the 1900 model. Look at the old, 1899. It's so 19th century. A strict, highly grade instrument. It says so. It's used as an attachment for Magic Lanterns and Stereopticons. Okay, what's a Stereopticon? No, it's a slideshow. Okay, I know you may not remember Magic Lanterns, but we've all seen the damn slideshows. in school and in other things. Of course, now they have digital projectors. So that's a Stereopticon. Of course, these all have different names, I guess, with different sellers. But it's just fascinating to see this. And the idea of that you could, make money showing more and more content was being created, let's say. Of course, now we're getting into music, which is the graphophone. So now we're getting, of course, the wax cylinders, where you're starting to be able to play records. Right? So you got more magic lanterns, stereopticons, profit, amusement, and instruction, right, for the young folks. So there's always the idea that this was just not just a wasteful, thing. This was you could become an entrepreneur. The graphophone, or the talking machine. Of course, Edison had his own name for it, but you couldn't stop this stuff. And what's interesting is not only could you play, right, you hear this talking machine, but you can record it, right? As always, as a moneymaker, right? The graphophone has no equal. So the talking machine, it's fascinating. It's what we take for granted, right? More talking machines. The idea that you could record, not just play those little. This is before records. I think they were like little wax cylinders, and they would play. I mean, God knows, not long, but reproduce with startling accuracy. That's just, man, the art and everything is just fascinating. I love this time. Of course, we talk about the content, right? The content of the films and the slides, because you can get the history of just a little snapshot. This is the time: Cuba, the Maine, and the Cuban War. Of course, the Spanish-American War. Right? Remember the Maine, right? The Maine that the Spanish had nothing to do with. Right? The Spanish-American War in the Philippines. Remember this. Oh boy. And of course, what is also happening right now as this catalog is coming out? The Boer-English War, right, in South Africa. Go Boers. The lecture set should sweep the country, right? Of course, the Paris Expo was going on in 1900. That's right. Right. And then, and the whole thing with me is, I love this time period. I'll bring it up again. It really is the crossroads of which way the West could have gone. Okay? I still have some romanticism in me where I think it could have gone a different way. Probably not, but, hope springs eternal. The idea of what could have come out of this. Of course, what comes out of this is the Call of Cthulhu. If you know what I mean, which is, to me, that's always a metaphor. That's for the decline of the West. Right. Then we go to the musical goods department now. Wow, look at that. Look at this cool. I mean, I don't even think these existed, but it looks like, wow. Look at their warehouse. It's like a little mini city. Like they used to have the many breweries all over America. Yeah, they would have a poster made of their factory, and they would have these huge utopian-looking, like futuristic city-type breweries. Sometimes a little embellished. Okay, but I'll keep bringing it up again. If you want to see one that actually existed and looked like that and is still up, just go to Allentown, Pennsylvania, my mother's hometown. You can go there. It's a rough part of the city, but you can still see the New Weiler Brewery. It's up there, built in 1911, and it looks like this utopian sort of thing. So we're getting into the, I don't want to get off on a tangent here. The musical instruments. Look at the piano, right? Of course, look at the craftsmanship. Okay, now you could say this is before the mass production of products. Okay, so a lot of this stuff is still made like unbelievably well. Organs, right? With violins, you see the different instruments. Interesting to see guitars. Like, guitars are just another stringed instrument at the time. Of course, the guitar is going to become very popular in the 20th century. And not so popular now, but extremely popular in the 19th century in America. Okay, not just Italia. You had the mandolins, right? The mandolin, the pretty much the descendant of the lute that still existed. Okay, of course, in American music now, pretty much this is relegated to bluegrass, but there was a whole repertoire of mandolin, solo mandolin, all these little four-piece mandolins. They had all different kinds of sizes. If you look at like Gibson, they made all these crazy-looking combination instruments as well. But you know, Sears and Roebuck is trying to sell the stuff that would be for the public. Banjos, right? It's a banjo, right? It's basically like a drum. It's a snare drum, guitar, right? You see all the, and look at all the different kind of banjos you have. Okay, the forgotten instruments now, the zithers, right? Zithers, okay, like harps. I mean, these are the German versions. They were brought to America by Germans, but remember, you also have the English, Scots-Irish versions of them. You have the dulcimers, right? The dulcimer is a fascinating instrument. Played in Appalachia and all over in rural America. The dulcimer was very unique. You get to see, like, look at this. Of course, what does this look like? This looks like the inside of a piano. Okay, all the instruments are related. The string, of course, the horns. Of course, we could go over that. So that was fascinating. Just looking at that alone. Let's see what else we can get in here. Books. Oh, do you like books? Do you like books? You know, and you get some interesting here. What is this? It's a very small, so I can still read it though. You know, they have the United States Secret Service of the late Civil War. 20 years of hustling. Yo, I'm hustling, son. I'm getting my hustle on. Okay. There's a book bubbling with merriment, overflowing with fun, full of ridiculous incidents, replete with comic situation. A story of 20 years of a man's life, more interesting than fiction, portraying the peculiar and amusing incidents, laughable situations, failures and successes of a man who tried almost every kind of business. Okay, so there's the American story right there. Every man can be a businessman. Right? What is this? Oh, you got Bill Nye, the science guy. No, you got the original Bill Nye. Oh, man, I could go over a lot of this. The New American Family Physician. Oh, oh, Uncle Tom's Cabin, famous book. Very favorite book of a certain great leader. I won't mention who. Oh, Mr. Stanley. What is this? This is what is it? Memoirs of Henry Stanley. I have no idea who that is, and I know. Oh, here we go. This is from my boy LaFont here. Indian Horrors or Massacres by the Red Men. Thrilling narrative of bloody wars with the merciless savages. Okay, remember it's 1900s, maybe like 10 years since Geronimo and them were still fighting it out. You know, it was Arizona. You know? Ghost dances, mysterious medicine men, desperate Indian slaves, scalping of helpless settlers, burning their houses. Beautifully illustrated with fine, some of it's not smudged here. Other thrilling things amongst the Indians. So that's cool. Look at the cool books here. Poetry, of course. And it's always the same. Burns, Byron, Tennyson, Moore, Longfellow. Of course, not Poe, right? There's no Edgar Allan Poe here. What? Remember, at this point, Poe is still remembered as like kind of like a maniac, a mysterious maniac who you want to avoid his work, his stories. What is this? Oh, Boers and Britishers in South Africa. A history of the Boer British War, the wars in the United South Africa. Together, biographies of men who have made South Africa. Oh, man. This volume contains many interesting chapters, amongst which are the following. How Africa is divided amongst the nations. Concerning people who inhabit it. Descriptions of Paul, of Yobert and Kranji. I assume those are Afrikaners. So, anyway, just a little... Look, every man his own doctor. You know what? You might as well be. So. And of course, you know, some of the items here, handkerchief cases, you know, the stuff for the ladies. We'll round it out. Oh, let's see, we can round it out. We got the guns. Oh, you Americans with your gun culture. Oh, please. So look at this cool picture here. I'm like this, but I'm a little disappointed. You see, you have the boxing gloves. You got the boxing bag, one of the bags they use. You also had a foil. I was expecting that they would have swords in this, but they did it. So anyway, shotguns. Oh, you Americans with your guns, please. The problem with guns in this country is something else. But of course, shotguns. I mean, it's the number one gun. Revolvers. You see how they really haven't changed that much. Remember the little 22 shorts. 22 shorts, no joke, man. A lot of people got killed with that. You get look at these little guns. 22 short, yeah. Winchester. Look at the quality of these guns. 30 caliber, right? Oh, I'm running out of time. Oh, let me finish this off. You see all the bullets. Oh, you Americans with your bullets, please. Yeah, 25, 20. They have like, I think calibers they don't use anymore. But anyway, you got all the boxing stuff, cool boxing. Like you have the pear-shaped bag. That's what they call. That's the speed bag, right? The pear-shaped bag, the speed bag. And you see the gloves. So, and you have the double-ended bag, which is come back into favor. You could put it in the doorway. Very useful tool for reflexes. What is this? Indian clubs. Remember Indian clubs? Yeah, get strong with Indian clubs. Unfortunately, and you got like what is this? The cables. The cables have also come back into fashion because they work. So and then you got all the boring sports, bowling, baseball. Ugh. Yeah, I'm with the combat sports. So the different striking bags. Interesting. You see, they don't have big, heavy bags. Okay. You didn't have even any bags at all in the old London prize rule days. But anyway, we gotta end this